Hi folks, this is Cheryl from Cheryl's Crafting Corner, and I've received a few requests to show folks how to use beeswax and how to kind of decorate a box with some tissue paper. The tissue paper that I'm using, I got a box of this, I believe it was at like Big Lots a Tuesday morning for $1. It's Martha Stewart's, and it's tissue paper, and it comes in different prints. And the one I'm using on my box here, this is a 2 1/4 inch box that I got from Michael's. So I'll be using this print, and I'm using natural colored beeswax. It comes in a large block like this, and then just take your hammer and bang off a piece. It does also come in natural, and that's great for like a vintage look, where you can get like a little bit darker. So I only have about 10 minutes left on my video camera, so let me see if I can get most of this done for you. So what you want to do is get some sort of heat acceptance item. It could be a frame, could be a box, could be cardstock, anything that will accept heat, so nothing like plastic. Metal gets very hot. I have done it on tile, and it does get very hot, so you just have to be careful. So the first thing you want to do is get a craft iron. This is a crafting iron, and what it is it has no steam holes like a normal household iron, and I just have my glue gun here so I can adhere my rosette that I made from the same tissue paper, and I just glued a star on it just to save a little bit of time. And I'll be wrapping my box with this twine and adding a button and stars. So hopefully I can get through this. So I have about 8 minutes left. Alright folks, so let's see. So the first thing you want to do is heat up your iron, and I've had it heated up for quite some time. And what I do is I work on a metal surface or a piece of really thick cardboard that you don't care that you're going to get all messy. And what you do is you just run the wax on the iron, and you can see right there it's transferring the melted wax onto my box. And what that's going to do is just give it a good seal on the box, and also will accept the wax when I go to the tissue paper, when I go to heat it and melt it again. So that's one side, and I'm going to do another side. So here I am melting my wax, and you can see it dripping, and I'm just running this on my box. Sorry if I'm out of frame. Okay, so that's great. And you want to continue to do this for the top and the bottom of the box. So the cover will be done in the same fashion. Hopefully I can get this all done. My wax got stuck to my pan. And if you get too much wax on, just run the iron over it, and you can spread it out. Okay, now I'm going to the bottom. So let me take a look at this. Okay, so what you're trying to achieve is a layer, equal layer of wax. And there's too much wax here. Okay, that looks great. Okay, so now let me do my cover. And again, I'm putting a hunk of this wax on here. You can see the wax dripping on the iron. And I'm running it across the cover of the box. And I'm trying not to heat my hand. Okay, and then I'm going to do the sides of my cover. And proceed just to keep going back and forth with this technique. going to add some more wax to my iron. Oops. And as it's dripping off, I can catch it. And one more side to do. And you can add more wax if you want to achieve a darker, deeper hue of brown. Again, I'm using a craft box, a paper mache box. So, alright, that looks good. Now to adhere the pieces of tissue paper. So I'm going to take the bottom of my box, lay my tissue paper on it where I want it, add the wax to my iron, and you'll see it dripping. And then you just want to do a slide on, slide off method. Slide on, slide off. And that will adhere the wax to the wax, the tissue to the wax that I personally first put on the bottom of the box. Okay, and that will cool. Next I'm going to do is the sides. So what I did is I pre-cut my tissue paper, and we'll proceed to do this. Okay. I clearly will be running out of time, so I will have to do this in 2 parts. So let me get some wax on my iron. Get that nice and juicy. And then proceed to put my tissue paper on my box. And again, see, it slides on. You get time to position it. And then you'll proceed all the way around. The noise you're hearing is me moving my glue gun out of my way. I'm trying to do this on a smaller surface so that the frame of the camera can capture everything that I'm doing. Traditionally, I do this on a large table, and I'm all spread out. Okay, you can see how it's grabbing the tissue, making it a little opaque, or transparent, I mean. And when it dries, you'll get this brown color. And again, the more wax you put on, the darker the brown underneath will show through. The last video I showed you, I did it with brown tinted tissue paper that had keys on it. It was brown, so the box kind of matched the tissue paper. This tissue paper has is quite white in color, so I wanted to use a whiter wax, the clear wax, and original wax. Wait. Okay, now I have this last end to do. Make sure I got enough wax on that area. And I'm going to have a little overhang, and that's fine. Wrap it here, and then go back to my block of wax. Get it melted, and then put it on, slide it off. And then that will adhere the tissue paper to my box. Now you can see some of this wax collected. I don't want to see bumps, I want it smooth, so just run the iron over it. And of course wax melts, and we'll smooth that out. Now any paper that has overhang on your box or whatever you're doing, let it cool and then just take scissors and trim your tissue paper. So next I need to do is my cover. And I was looking for my scissors because I can't find them right now. So what I'm going to do on the cover is the opposite. I'm going to adhere the sides and then put the top on, only because it's the way I cut my tissue paper, and I will just deal with it that way. So I have my tissue paper on here. I need a little bit of wax to hold this down. There we go. And proceed. Now this is going to be difficult because it's such a little cover. So I'm going to use the bottom of my box just to hold it up straight while I grab my wax. Wax. And that came out great. And then you'll just proceed to do the sides of your box. Or if you're doing a frame, that's fine. You've got a flat surface, you're not dealing with multiple sides. As I am here, I choose to be a little three-dimensional crafting today. So let me just use my iron and get that to stick down. Same on this side, and then I will go, I'm just doing this, folks, just to get the tissue to, because it is three-dimensional, just to get it to adhere down. I will go back over and put a layer of wax, because that's what you want to achieve, is this translucent imagery here with the wax and the tissue, as if you didn't use the wax at all. And that looks great. So I'm just going to add a little bit of wax. In fact, I think I'll take what I have here in my pan. Perfect. Okay, now, because the paper that I had trimmed is a little bit shorter, I'm going to just, I pre-planned this, so I'm just going to trim my corners, fold the paper in, and then wax the cover down. And then I will proceed to decorate it. Now, if you've done any type of folding, covering of notebooks or whatnot, same principle. Even with cloth, if you've done this with cloth, you kind of just want to get a little, like an eighth of an inch or quarter of an inch of fabric, or in this case paper, fold it in. You can miter the corners if you wish. So let me get some wax on my iron here. And sorry folks, the sun is setting here today and I'm getting lots of shadows as I finish filming this for you. Okay. Alright, let me get some more wax so I can do the sides. Okay, I need this to cool. Because I used an edge, that's going to stick up a little bit. So I need the wax to cool. See right there, it's cooling down. And it's grabbing hold from the wax that I originally put on the cover to the wax on that tissue paper. So it is hot, guys, so just be careful whenever you're playing with the wax. Just like a hot glue gun, right? You're bound to get a little bit of touch there, but not too bad. Okay, so great. So I'm going to put my top layer on, finish off my cover, and then I will proceed to decorate my box. Add some wax to my iron, get a layer of wax on my iron, and then push off. Press down, push off. Press down, push off. Press down, push off. Because you don't want to disturb too much of this paper until it cools. It should cool pretty quick here. I'm in Massachusetts and it's like 17 degrees today. So this should dry pretty quick. Okay. Now, just a reminder, folks, take a look at your box, see if, or whatever item you're doing. If you have to trim any paper, go ahead and trim it with scissors. This looks pretty good. See that little bump of wax there? I don't want that. I'm just going to take my iron and run it over it, and it will smooth it right back out. Great. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I do like the different tones. See how I had put extra wax in the middle on my box? The corners will be lighter, folks, because you're not always going to get the exact amount of wax on a flat surface as opposed to a corner, right? Okay, so here's my box. Whoops, let me put that together. Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to decorate. So before I started filming, I did make a rosette. In fact, I just want to smooth this out here a little bit. Okay, see how you can see the wax heated up? It's cooling down really quickly. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue gun. Here's my little rosette with my little star, and I'm going to put this on top. And you want to probably use a hot glue gun to adhere something to the wax box. You can use a thick tacky glue or E6000, something that has a good hold is what I suggest. My glue stick fell out. Alright. Oops, there we go. Sorry guys. Okay, so now I'm going to put that right here, and that will take a second to dry. So I've got hot glue melting or heating up on a wax box, so you want to hold it a couple extra seconds there. That looks adorable. Okay, so now for the sides, I pre-cut and measured my twine, and I'm going to go over this twice, around and around, and then tie a knot here in the center. Okay, and kind of want to move this around a little bit just because I do want this in the center of my box. Okay. Alright, and what I chose for addition is, I think, that button. I looked through my jar of buttons and I just love the brown tones, earthy tones, and I think that goes well. With my wax and my paper mache box, and I'm going to add a couple stars. These are flat back stars. I just had them in my crafting area and kind of just thought that would be sweet to put on my box. I'm going to add one here. add another one here. So folks, that's how you can do the wax technique. I did it with tissue paper. You can do it with napkins. Try coffee filters. You can stamp on tissue paper. I'll show you in another video how I actually stamped on white tissue paper, and I will be adding that to tags and whatnot. So hopefully you'll give this a try. You need to get the block of wax from, I got it at Michael's. It's rather expensive, so use your 50% off or 40% off coupon. Get it in the wax, the candle department, and it comes in the white and it comes in the natural. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a message below, and please stop by Cheryl's Crafting Corner and have a great day.